Hatter's Return. Gotham City, New Jersey. Valentine's Day, 2018. Well, it was Valentine's Day, love was in the air, and people were giving each other presents, and some people were complaining that they had to waste money on other people just for one time a year. Well, Bruce Wayne was going to have a different kind of Valentine's this year. A Valentine's he didn't quite expect to happen. Well, Corinne decided to have a candlelight dinner in her apartment for him. It was her opportunity to show off her cooking skills. Well, Bruce was very happy and he was very excited. He was going to have a home-cooked dinner with his new girlfriend. He always loves good home-cooked meals. Even though Alfred is a very good cook, he always enjoys the cooking of other people, especially of all the women he's dated over the years. Well, Bruce Wayne was getting ready. He put on his bow tie, slicks back his hair, and heads to the garage. As soon as he enters the garage, Alfred was there, waiting with a bottle of Dom Perignon. He's like, "Your Dom Perignon, sir. I trust Madam will enjoy it." Bruce Wayne says, "I think she will, Alfred. I think she will." So Bruce Wayne gets into his Aston Martin, starts up the engine, and drives off into the night. Well, he finally arrives at the apartment where Corinne lives at. He parks his car in the front, gets out, activates the security alarm, enters the apartment building, and makes his way to Corinne's apartment. He then proceeds to knock on the door. He waited a few moments until Corinne finally opened the door. She says, "Oh, good evening, Bruce." She then proceeds to say, "Come in, Bruce." She shuts the door behind him, and she says, "Make yourself comfortable, Bruce. Give me a moment. I'm getting the final things ready." So she walks off, and as she's walking, she asks Bruce, "So how was your night?" As she was heading to the kitchen. Bruce had to speak a little loud since she was in the kitchen. He's like, "Oh, I'm doing fine. I mean, I was having a rough day, but now that I get to see you tonight, it makes it all worth it." Bruce sits down on the couch and waits for her. He looks at the table. It was a small round table. There was a lot of stuff on the table. A lot of food and a lit candle. And the lights were dim in the apartment and some very soothing romantic music was playing. Bruce was a little nervous and he was sweating a bit under the collar, but that could just be because the heat is on in the apartment and the heat was on a little high. Well, he waited until Corinne comes out with a hors d'oeuvres tray and sets it on the coffee table in front of Bruce. She says, Go ahead, help yourself, Bruce. The chicken is still baking." Bruce looks at her and is like, "Chicken, what kind?" he asks her. Corinne smiles and replies, "It's paprika chicken. Ever heard of it or ever ate it?" Bruce says, Yes, I've know paprika chicken. I've eaten it plenty of times, but I never get tired of chicken. I love chicken. That's what I usually just eat, chicken." Corinne smiles. "Well, it's your lucky night. You never had the Corinne paprika special chicken," she says. Bruce smiles. "Oh, I can't wait to try it out." Well, after a minute or two, Corinne goes back in the kitchen, checks it out. The chicken was ready. She pulls it out, serves it, and she says, "All right, Bruce, dinner is served." So Bruce gets up, walks over to the table. He pulls out the chair so she could sit first, and then he sits down. And the two serve their food and talk, eat, and have their romantic evening together. Well, nothing could ruin this evening, Bruce thought in his mind, but he thought too soon, because just as things were just getting good, suddenly he hears crashing at the door. Bruce and Corinne quickly gets up. Bruce gets in front of her to protect her. The one who crashed the door down was actually two men. two big men that were very familiar to Bruce Wayne. It was Tweedledee and Tweedledum, Mad Hatter's goons. They come in and they say, "Oh, Mad Hatter, send us for woman. He want make woman to New Alice." Bruce Wayne says to them, "No, guys, you two are gonna turn back around and leave, or else I'm gonna hurt you too." The the other goon, Tweedledum, looks and's like, this little man threatened us. He threatened us. He can't hurt us." Bruce says to him, "Okay, that's it. You two are going down." Well, Bruce jumps into action. He really can't perform all that well because he can't afford to give himself away that he could be Batman. So pretty much he was regulating to trying to fight them with just throwing punches, generic punches. But either way, Bruce knows how to throw a punch. So Bruce runs to the guys and screams at Corinne, saying, "Corinne, run to safety. Get the police." Corinne says, "No, Bruce, don't try to take them on. They'll crush you. Just, oh, Bruce, don't." But her pleas fell on deaf ears. Bruce ran and tried to deck Tweedledee, but things were not going well. He threw the first punch, and the second punch, and the third punch. Then Tweedledee threw the final punch. Suddenly, Bruce Wayne was feeling it. That was a very hard punch, and he was about to lose consciousness. He begins to fall back, and as he falls back, he lands on the coffee table, breaking it. Corinne screams, "Bruce! Bruce!" Bruce was starting to lose consciousness quickly. The screams of Corinne were starting to echo and sound distant as she screamed, "Bruce, Bruce, 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 Bruce." Bruce was in dreamland now. He had lost consciousness from that hit. Hours later, Bruce Wayne regains consciousness. He had a lot of people surrounding him looking down on him. There was a paramedic flashing that pen light in his eyes to check his pupillary responses. And there was another familiar face looking over him, Detective Bullock. And the paramedic was saying, by the looks of it, Mr. Bruce Wayne has a mild concussion. Mild concussion was just an understatement. Bruce had that horrible nauseous feeling that one gets after they get knocked out. It's just a feeling that one always gets when they regain consciousness after a knockout. You want to puke, and your head is splitting. The paramedic asks, "Mr. Wayne, are you feeling bad? Are you in pain? You fell and broke a coffee table with your back." Bruce's back did ache. As he slowly gets up, the paramedic stops and says, "Oh, Mr. Wayne, take it easy. Slowly." The paramedic was helping him up slowly. As Bruce was lifting his upper body up, sitting up, it was hurting like hell. Son of a... Ow. The paramedic's like, "Mr. Wayne, you want to come to the hospital?" Bruce is like, No, I'll be fine. No. Harvey Bullock says, "Well, you're lucky, Mr. Wayne, that you didn't get killed by Tweedledee and Tweedledum." The neighbors heard the ruckus and called the police, and a lot of the neighbors saw that the two goons were taking away the young lady you were having dinner with. Then Harvey Bullock proceeds to say, "Rest assured, Mr. Wayne, we'll find your girlfriend, or my name isn't Harvey Bullock." Well, Bruce knew all about Harvey Bullock. Yes, he could be corrupt at times. Yes, he could be a bit overzealous and step over the line, but Bullock was a good, tough cop. He always did get the job done. He was a man of his word. But right now, Bruce just wanted to go home. He was in pain. As Bruce gets up on his feet, the paramedic says, "Mr. Wayne, I highly suggest you do not try to drive home." Harvey Bullock says, "The paramedic is right, Mr. Wayne. You better not drive home. We already contacted your butler. He's on his way to see you." Sure enough, after Harvey Bullock finished the sentence, Alfred comes in. "Oh my goodness, Master Wayne, are you okay?" Bruce says, yeah, I think I got hit by a truck. Oh, my head. Good gravy. Oh. Bruce it was painful getting knocked out by a giant guy like Tweedledee. Bruce says, Alfred, just take me home. I just want to go to bed. And I Bruce just turns to look at the paramedics. Says, can you give me something for this pain? The paramedics says, Mr. Wayne, no. Unless you come with us in the ambulance, then we can give you some powerful pain relievers. But if you choose to go home, we can't give you anything, sir. Well, Bruce says, okay. Well, Alfred guides Bruce outside the apartment through the crowd of policemen walking the hallway, just grabbing every evidence they can find, and out to the front of the apartment building where his Aston Martin was still parked at, but now there was just several police cars parked in front blocking the road. Alfred slowly guides Bruce down the stairs and takes him to the small luxury sedan that was parked in the far end. It seemed like a long walk for the injured Bruce Wayne, but Alfred got him inside the car and they drove off and they arrived at Wayne Manor. Bruce was really hurting. Well, Alfred gave him some powerful behind-the-counter stuff that they had access to, because Bruce Wayne is no stranger to being bruised, beaten, and broken. Well, Bruce Wayne drank the powerful pain relievers and muscle relaxants, and he just passed out for the night. The days passed, and there was just no sign of Corinne. Bruce Wayne was recovering still. He could not go out as Batman. It was bothering him. And the police were turning up dead ends. And the Mad Hatter was not done yet. There were other women who were reported kidnapped by those two giant goons. Bruce Wayne was like, God damn it. God damn it. Oh, man, I have to get better quickly. Because Mad Hatter, what is he doing? Where is he taking them? Well, at police headquarters, Commissioner Gordon was like, God damn it, God damn it. Where is Mad Hatter taking these women? Harvey Bullock, well, I'm sorry, Commish. I'm drawing dead ends here. And Renee Montoya's not having any luck either. I don't know where he's taking them. And this city's big. There's no clues at any of the crime scene. These two brutes of his are really doing a good job at covering up their tracks. There's nothing at these scenes. So, who knows where they're hiding out at. And, Commish, I have a bad feeling that maybe Mad Hatter is doing this to set up a big trap for the Bat Freak. I mean, after the Arkham City incident 7 years ago, he wants probably to get revenge on Batman. The commissioner looks at Bullock and says, you know what, Harvey, you might be right. So, now we're going to have to wait for Mad Hatter to make the first move again. Meanwhile, at the Batcave beneath Wayne Manor, Bruce Wayne was sitting at the Bat computer just looking at one of the main screens. Really, he was just staring at it. It was a map of the city with lines and dots in each area. The dots represented where the crime scene where Mad Hatter's goons kidnapped the women, and the lines just represented the connecting the dots, usual stuff. But Bruce Wayne was just drawing a blank, just like the police commissioner. There was just no pattern, no motive, typical the Mad Hatter. Well, Alfred walks up to him and is like, oh, Master Bruce, I see you're well enough to come down here. So, by the look of this computer, Master Bruce, I take it that you're trying to figure out Mad Hatter's insanity. Bruce says to Alfred, you know what, Alfred? There is no pattern to Jervis Tetch's insanity. The man is loony, and he's gotten more loonier over the years. And you know what? I'm drawing blanks. None of these things are connected. There's just nothing. The police are at a dead end, I'm at a dead end, and Oracle has no luck either. I don't know what I'm going to do. And who knows how Corinne is being treated. He's probably turned her into one of his mindless Alices by now. And, this frustrates me, Alfred, said Bruce. This frustrates me greatly. Here I am, powerless to do anything. Oh, I swear, if I get my hands on Tetch, it's gonna be, he's not gonna be able to walk again. Well, Alfred says, Master Bruce, just calm yourself down. You know, you'll figure out the pattern, you'll figure out a way. You always bring that madman down. I just hope that Corinne is safe and not being harmed. Well, finally, a day later, the commissioner was busy as a bee at the police station. He makes it into his office. He sees mail on his desk, and he looks through it from the usual stuff. So he opens the first mail. Um, as he opened the first mail, there was another sealed envelope inside, like an invitation, and it said Batman on it. He looked at it, puzzled, and then he saw a letter that was with it. He opened up the letter and read it, and the letter read, Dear Commissioner Gordon, this is a special invitation for the Batman only. You are to give it to him, and once he gets his invitation, your part is done. Sincerely, your friend in the greatest of times, the Mad Hatter. The commissioner crumpled up the paper and he said, Son of a bitch. Uh, Bullock was right. Well, as the night fell, he made his way up to the roof. The commissioner goes over to the switch to turn on the bat signal and flips the switch. The commissioner stood there with his hands on the railing, waiting, just looking out at the city skyline. It was a beautiful night. It was not too cold, but it was good heavy sweater weather. He just stood there staring out at the city, listening to the sounds of the distant traffic, waiting for the Batman to show up. Seemed to be taking a while. Batman was on his way, surely. But the wait was finally over. The commissioner could hear a familiar flapping in the air. The flapping that was heard visibly over the sounds of the distant traffic. He turns around to look, and surely enough, on a high platform on the roof, Batman was just there, staring as his cape was flapping in the strong breeze that was beating high above. He leaps down to the lower level of the roof and says,
I'm here, Jim. What's going on?
The commissioner says, Well, Batman, it seems your friend, the Mad Hatter, struck again. He shows Batman the invitation and hands it to him. He sent you this invitation with instructions to be clearly given to you. Batman grabs the invitation from the commissioner's hands. He looks at the invitation. He opens the envelope, pulls out the invitation on a card, and it says, Dear Batman, you're cordially invited to the old Gotham City Gasworks building. I'll be waiting for you. Signed, the Mad Hatter. Well, Batman crumples up the invitation. The commissioner looks at him and says, So, where does he want you to meet him at? Where does he have those women imprisoned? Asked the commissioner. Well, Batman replies,
Well, he wants me to come to the old Gotham Gasworks building. That's where he probably has them all held at. I know it's a trap. It's just to figure out how to escape the trap before it's sprung.
said the Batman to the commissioner. The commissioner looks at Batman and says, All right, I'll have a car hidden waiting for the fireworks show to begin. As soon as it begins, they'll radio for backup. The commissioner then says to Batman, Batman, be careful. Mad Hatter, he just, with his mind control technology and all the stuff he does to people, be careful. Batman knew the danger confronting Mad Hatter. Mad Hatter was a very dangerous man. Yes, he was short, but his abilities with technology and even affecting mind control through electronics always astounded Batman and astounded even top scientists. But Jervis Tetch, despite his genius, has always been defeated by Batman because of his overconfidence in his own technology and his overconfidence. He's always going to beat the odds. But all that mattered really to Batman, to Bruce Wayne, was to get Corinne back alive and safe. So Batman jumps on top of the railing. He pulls out his grapnel gun and fires it to the ledge of the other building, and grapples to the other building. From there, he calls the Batmobile. As the Batmobile comes up, it parks in front of that building. The canopy slides open. Batman jumps off the building, glides down into the seat of his Batmobile. He shuts the canopy, takes it off auto, and begins to drive into the night. The Batmobile weaves in and out of cars as it drives high speed towards the Gotham Gas Works. In his mind, Batman wonders, what has Mad Hatter set up? What kind of trap is laid out? 20 minutes later, Batman was a rooftop away from the old Gotham Gas Works building. This Gotham Gas Works building was part of the Gotham City Gas Works. When the Gas Works company moved away to a brand new modern building, this building has been sitting here for 20 years, just rotting away, like other buildings in Gotham. Batman activates a detective mode. His detective mode was coming up empty. He can see nothing on the outside to be aware of, nothing at all. So Batman makes his way to the front of the building. He opens the big metallic doors leading into the gas works. He enters and then shuts the giant metal doors behind him. While Batman was in the hallway, he saw something coming at him. It had glowing red eyes. It was small, probably knee-high, and it was hopping towards him. When it finally reached Batman, the light that it stood under revealed to it to be a giant robotic rabbit. The rabbit said, "Hello, Batman. Mad Hatter has been expecting you. Please follow me and do not tempt anything stupid." With little choice, Batman just had to do what the little robot rabbit told him to do. So he followed the hopping robot bunny as it led him to where Mad Hatter was waiting for him. Well, the robot rabbit led him to the central chamber, where the central chamber was decked out with decorations of Alice in Wonderland themed things like giant mushrooms, giant plants, animatronic Alice in Wonderland characters. And sure enough, Corinne and the missing women, all of them were dressed like Alice, and they were under the influence of the Mad Hatter's mind control technology as they just stood there like robots, soulless, staring out, waiting for the command of their diabolical master. The robot proceeded to say, "We are here, Batman. Please wait for my master and do not attempt anything stupid. I am programmed with offensive capabilities." Then the robot hopped off, leaving Batman alone briefly. It was very quiet in the central chamber, but soon the quietness was broken by the sound of someone playing an organ loud. Then the music stopped. Then Batman hears a familiar voice. "Ah, Batman, welcome to my new wonderland." Suddenly, there was a loud pop and a puff of smoke on top of one of the mushrooms. As the smoke clears, standing on top of that mushroom was the Mad Hatter standing there, 5'3". Jervis Tetch lets out a big smile and he says, "Ah, Batman, it's been a long time since I've seen you." Then he hops off the mushroom and he walks up towards Batman and says to him, old friend, how I missed thee since you humiliated me 7 years ago in Arkham City." Batman just gives a dead stare to the Mad Hatter and he says,
I'm here to stop you, Mad Hatter. Now let the women go, and maybe I'll go easy on you.
Mad Hatter then says, "Tisk tisk, Batman. Where is your patience? Patience is such a virtue." Suddenly, Batman grabs Mad Hatter by the shirt collar and lifts him to the air, and then he goes on to say,
Enough of this, Mad Hatter. I'm tired of your games. I'm tired of all this. Now it ends.
Then Mad Hatter stretches out his right arm and starts snapping his fingers. Suddenly, Batman sees entering the central chamber Tweedledee and Tweedledum. They come up and say, "Ooh, ooh, Batman here, Batman here. Now we break his bones." Then Batman just flings Mad Hatter away. Mad Hatter falls on the floor hard and slides across the floor, hitting one of his little fake mushroom decorations, knocking it down. Mad Hatter says, "You'll pay for that, Batman. You'll pay for that." Tweedledee, Tweedledum, break his bones. Tweedledee and Tweedledum begin pounding their fists into their hand and say, "We break Batman's bones. We break Batman's bones." Well, this time Batman was ready for them. He leaps in the air and kicks Tweedledee right in his gut. Tweedledee then goes, "Oh!" Then Batman follows through with a series of punches. Then Tweedledum begins rampaging like a raging bull towards Batman, ready to clobber him. Batman just stands there staring at him, and as Tweedledum is coming right at him, he simply just gets out of the way quickly. Tweedledum runs right past him. Then Batman proceeds to grab something out of his utility belt. It was his shocker. A device, when thrown on an object or a person, sticks to them and it sends a very powerful electric shock, powerful enough to put down a person. He throws it at Tweedledum's back, and it beeps and activates and delivers a very powerful shock. Suddenly, Tweedledum falls like a brick unconscious. That was another guy down. Then Mad Hatter said, "Well, you may have taken down Tweedledee and Tweedledum. That really doesn't take any effort. Those two are brutes anyways, but you're not going to take down my rabbit." Then Batman hears the robot coming towards him. The robot stops. Then it turns to look at Batman. Then Batman sees that the robot's nose extends, revealing it's a gun barrel, and then it begins shooting at Batman. Mad Hatter gets up and says, "Face it, Batman, I've won. And I'm gonna get my revenge for what you did to me in Arkham City 7 years ago. I built this rabbit perfectly, and once you're out of the picture, then me and the Alices will live happily ever after." Then Batman speaks as his voice echoes through the central chamber.
I'm not worried, Mad Hatter. I always prepared with an escape plan and plans to defeat my enemies.
Suddenly there was a loud explosion in the central chamber. Then the Batmobile comes driving up on autopilot to where the Mad Hatter was standing. Then the Batmobile comes to a very screeching halt. Mad Hatter looked terrified and puzzled. What did Batman have planned? What the hell he was going to do? Then Mad Hatter heard a charging sound coming from the Batmobile. Then the Batmobile launched an EMP, which shorted out everything in its vicinity, sending sparks flying all over the place in the central chamber. Well, the EMP shut out everything electrical. The lights were out, the mind control circuitry on the captured women were shorted out completely, freeing them from Mad Hatter's mind control, and the robot rabbit was dead from the EMP, his circuitry fried. Mad Hatter realized that he was in trouble, and he's like, oh my, time for my escape, time for my escape. And he darts. He was running as fast as his little legs could carry him. As he ran through the hole in the wall that the Batmobile made when it went driving through it, well, he reached outside. He thought he was in a safe zone until Batman launched a grapple gun at him to capture him. Mad Hatter was dangling upside down as Batman was standing on top of a streetlight. He was holding the Mad Hatter upside down. The Mad Hatter's hat fell off, and the Mad Hatter said, Batman, please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. Then the Batman reels him up and grabs him and says to him in his menacing voice,
You hurt people for the last time, Mad Hatter. Now it ends tonight.
The Mad Hatter had a look of terror on his face, and he pleads to Batman, saying, Batman, I'm just, don't hurt me. I'm just a lonely man who just is desperate for a woman and wants to use his great abilities to land himself a woman. But his pleas were falling on deaf ears. The Batman let out a sinister grin, and all of a sudden, the Mad Hatter screams, No! His screams echoes. The captured women and Corinne hear the screams of Mad Hatter, and they run outside towards where the scream was coming from, but nothing. The Batman and the Mad Hatter were gone. Where did the Batman go with the Mad Hatter? They were wondering. Soon they saw the red and blue lights of the police as they were coming up. The women were relieved. They were going to go home now. The nightmare was over for them. Sure enough, about several hours later, at police headquarters, at the commissioner's office, as he was ready to call it a night, suddenly he hears a knock on the window. The commissioner gets up, walks over to the window, opens the blinds, and there he was, the Mad Hatter, outside dangling upside down with a black eye, a fat lip, and bruises all over his face. The Batman really brutalized him. Well, it was over for these women. The Mad Hatter was going to go to jail, hopefully once and for all, but right now he was recuperating in the hospital after let's say after a massive assault that left him with several broken bones and an injured back. And as for Corinne, she was ready to make up for the lost date they had for Valentine's Day. So they took a second take on their candlelight dinner date. Bruce Wayne showed up and the date went flawless. Like and subscribe. The end.